President and officials from the state of California have traded many words and lawsuits over the last 3 years. The latest battleground is the growing homeless population. The president has warned Governor Gavin Newsom that federal intervention may be necessary if the state cannot solve the crisis. Correspondent Christina Coleman has our report from Los Angeles.
President Trump is blasting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Twitter over California's chronic homelessness crisis. He tweeted that her district has, quote, rapidly become one of the worst anywhere in the U.S. when it comes to the homeless and crime, adding, quote, she has lost total control, and along with her equally incompetent governor, Gavin Newsom. And on Christmas Day, President Trump took aim squarely at California's governor by tweeting the governor has, quote, done a really bad job on taking care of the homeless population in California. And he issued Newsom an ultimatum, quote, if he can't fix the problem, the federal government will get involved. Trump's warning comes on the heels of the blistering Department of Housing and Urban Development report that shows the nation's recent overall 2.7% rise in homelessness was caused in part by a 16.4% increase in California. This latest HUD report analyzes data from 2018. California led the nation in the number of homeless people with an estimated 129,000 or more in January. Earlier this month, Newsom said the federal government hasn't done nearly enough to help.
We've asked the Trump administration for the one thing that he can do specifically, and that's address the fair market rent issue and help us support with vouchers additional resources so we can get people housed. The president can do a hell of a lot more.
Governor Newsom also says the state has invested an unprecedented $1 billion to tackle the issue of homelessness. As per Trump's warning, the president didn't say how the feds would or could intervene. Mike?
Christina, thanks very much. Governor Newsom firing the latest salvo in this back and forth, attempting to ruin the president's Christmas by comparing him to a scene from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Here to talk about this issue tonight, Democratic strategist Kevin Walling and Daily Caller video columnist Stephanie Hamill. It's great to have you both. Let's get to it. California's Governor Gavin Newsom blaming the feds for the homeless problem as government officials play the blame game.
They're not serious about this issue. They're playing politics with it. Expect nothing but division coming and emanating from the folks at HUD and the Trump administration. And if they want to surprise me, we will celebrate that, and they will be applauded and embraced. And I would love to be surprised.
Stephanie, your thoughts?
Well, I think it's amazing that the Democrats are trying to pin this one on President Donald Trump when we know that California has had a homelessness crisis and issue for many, many years before Trump even thought about running for president. I lived in California for 5 years. The problem was right in front of your eyes. I mean, it wasn't out of sight, out of mind. It was literally right in front of your face. There were some areas that had third world country-like conditions. The Democrats should be thankful that President Trump is putting the spotlight on this issue because we can't have 130,000 people living on the streets. This is America. This is the great state of California. People need to be taken care of. This is not only a humanitarian crisis, but it's a health issue, and the residents of California deserve better.
President Trump tweeting today, California leads the nation by far in both the number of homeless people and the percentage increase in the homeless population. Two terrible stats. Crazy Nancy should focus on that in her very own district and helping her incompetent governor with the big homeless problem. Kevin, what's your take?
Yeah, Mike, what I don't understand about this president is when he gets up in the morning and he reaches for his iPhone to send out these tweets attacking Californians, attacking folks in L.A. and San Francisco, is the fact that for the last 3 years, he's also represented these people. We are his constituents around this country. When he attacks cities like L.A. and Baltimore and Atlanta, what he fails to realize is that he also represents these people. And for the last 3 years, he's let those people down. Just last year in his budget for 2020, he sought a $9.6 billion cut to HUD. That's 20% of HUD's operating budget, the budget of housing and urban development, responsible for affordable housing, responsible for tackling chronic homelessness in our country, and he sought to make matters worse over these last 3 years. So I certainly know that homelessness has been an issue in this country for going back to the founding of this country, but over the last 3 years, this president has made it markedly worse.
The San Francisco Chronicle writes, between street sweeping crews, staffed portable toilets, and sidewalk steamers, San Francisco spent $94 million, or about $257,534 a day this year, trying to keep the city clean. And while progress has been made, the effort remains a losing battle. More than $250,000 a day cleaning up filth. Stephanie?
Yeah, it's astounding. Instead of enforcing the laws and preventing people from defecating on the streets, we have law enforcement looking the other way because they're told not to enforce these laws. They're handing out needles to drug addicts instead of, giving them help and the assistance that they actually need. This isn't a money problem. California spends billions of dollars trying to solve the homelessness crisis. There's obviously an issue with how the money is being handled. I would call for maybe an audit into some of the programs that are handling the homelessness crisis. So look, at the end of the day, Democrats can complain about Trump and him being a Grinch and this and that, but the good thing is that we're having this conversation today and hopefully action will be taken. Look, we don't know exactly what a federal intervention will entail. I'm more curious to find out what exactly the president has in mind, but at the end of the day, this needs to be solved and it needs to be solved immediately.
We're just about out of time. Kevin, a brief response from you and then we got to go.
Yeah, Mike, I think the smartest thing this president can do is now with the impeachment with Speaker Pelosi, who represents San Francisco, go to San Francisco, announce more funding for homelessness in this country, announce the fact that he's going to reverse the nearly $10 billion cuts at HUD that he's proposing in his budget. That would be a smart play for this president.
All right. Well, we have to leave it there. Kevin, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Mike. Happy New Year.